Hello, this is the Captain Pack, so welcoming you to my Counselor Vay Hek boss guide for Warframe. But first things first, I'd like to say that there's a reason that this boss is locked to Mastery Rank 5, and that's because he's a bit of an asshole. So hopefully this guide will help you to make him less of an asshole, and hopefully beat him. So let's go over the equipment choices that we're going to be running with, because that's going to make a massive difference in your fight with this boss. So for one of your weapons, could be your primary, could be your secondary, you're going to want something that is really good at dealing status. You know, has 20+% status chance, has a high rate of fire, might not be the most ammo efficient thing in the world, but you're going to want status, and if possible, put corrosive, because this guy's got a lot of life, he's got a lot of armor, and stripping that armor is going to be very, very powerful in this fight. Now for your other weapon, you're going to want something that can deal a lot of damage, but is also incredibly ammo efficient. So a semi-automatic weapon. Doesn't matter if it's high status or high crit, just something that can deal damage and is also ammo efficient. I'm going for the Bratton Prime for my status weapon and the Vacor Melloc for my semi-automatic weapon. So let's get into how to actually fight this boss. So as I said before, this guy is an absolute asshole. And honestly, the best way to get through this first phases of his is to just run. Just completely ignore this fight because it is tedious and annoying and just everything wrong with Warframe. So we're just going to do our best to completely ignore him and all of his bullshit that he likes to pull. But don't worry if you're afraid that if you want to fight him, you can. And we'll be going over how you fight this form, because he does this form later on in the actual boss arena, so we're going to be fighting it anyway, which is why I'm skipping it, because we're going to be fighting it anyway, so what's the point in fighting it now? So all you do is you run through the map and you try and find the next area, and it will waypoint the next area. When you get to that, it will waypoint the boss. You ignore the boss and you try and find the next location. You'll see he'll do that magnetized bullcrap that hits you through walls and drains half your shields and all of your energy. Wonderful boss. I'm so glad that that exists. But yeah, just using the mobility, trying to find the next location. Map knowledge or tile set knowledge is going to be very useful for this boss. And as we exit this tile, it will waypoint us to the next tile, so it'll tell us that we're on the right tracks. Ignoring all of the enemies because they're not important to us. They serve no purpose. And is he going to? Yeah, he electrocutes me again, or magnetizes, I should say. But we're just going to move past him because we don't care. And I accidentally find the exit. That's fine, you know. The waypoint's telling me to go the other way, so here we go. And I think this is going to be leading us to the actual fight. So now we can actually fight this son of a bitch, as opposed to just running away from him. I'm going to check these crates, see if we can't get some energy. Doesn't matter if you can't, he's just going to take it away from you anyway. And here is the boss room. So what you have to do is you have to hit him in the face, but only when he is, like, vulnerable. You'll know that he's vulnerable to being attacked because the light on the top of his floaty construct or whatever will be glowing, and also you'll be able to see his eyes and his face just like that. It's a pain in the ass to see when you're magnetized all the time like this, but that's when you want to hit him. When he's armored up, when he has the faceplate on and the light on the top of the thing is not glowing, he's completely invulnerable to damage. This is why I'm recommending a semi-automatic weapon that can deal a lot of damage, because you're gonna need to be ammo efficient. You're gonna need a lot of ammo because you're gonna be missing a lot, because he's got some really annoying to hit weak spots as is, and then he likes to fly around a lot, and then he likes to fuck up your HUD with magnetize, you know? Why people at DE thought that this was a good boss is beyond me. This boss is retarded. Like, it's so annoying to try and get him into the second phase. Like I said, there's a reason why this boss is mastery locked. It's because you're probably not going to be able to do this. And something that I saw in region chat, which I think is perfectly apt, is that if you can't solo this boss, then you shouldn't be doing it at all. And I just think that's really backwards. Like, if you can't solo a boss, then you go into public, and you should be able to do the boss that way. You know, you'll get people who are farming the boss who are like mastery rank 20 or whatever, they'll be able to carry you, you'll be able to do a little bit of damage. But with this boss, it's like, it's so hard to actually fight that if you don't know what you're doing, which is perfectly normal because most of the bosses are like this, that it's just like, it makes it so awkward. And he doesn't want to show his ugly mug for us to shoot all the time as well. He'll just sort of sit like that. But thankfully, we have almost taken him out. We've almost finished his first phase, which is the most obnoxious phase. Like, honestly, if you have a status weapon, once you get past this phase, you've beaten the boss. The second phase is so much easier. It has a lot more options in terms of doing damage to you and being annoying, but you can damage him no matter what he does. So now he's in his terror frame, or about to be. Here he is, popping in. Now we can damage him no matter if his weak spot is open or not. So I'm going to swap to my status weapon, and I'm going to start trying to strip that armor. Thing is, though, he can now shoot a crap ton of rockets at us, and he also has these weird, like, manta ray things that follow around and do weird stuff. I'm not exactly sure what they do. I feel like one of them like slows you down, one of them tries to do damage to you. They do annoying crap, but they're really slow and that's all they are, they're annoying, so I tend to ignore them. Using my secondary to pick off these lackeys, because saving ammo, all that sort of good stuff. And like I said, we're just going to be trying to use the our status weapon to strip that armor as quickly as possible. And there it is. Armor is stripped. He is now going to die. Whenever he lands, like whenever he jumps somewhere and he lands, he does a shockwave, and that'll knock you on your ass. So you got to be careful of that. But like I said, once you beat that first phase, this boss is as good as dead, just like that. Made it look easy, didn't I? But it's not. It really, really is not. There's a reason why Hydroid is the least popular frame in the game. It's partially because he is the worst frame in the game, but it's also partially because this boss sucks absolute dick. So anyway, I hope this boss guide helped. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.